Well, hello there. Welcome to tonight's horror review. On the first episode of THR, I'd like to review a zombie film that you've probably never seen. One that traps you in its nightmare for over 90 minutes and never cuts the camera. Not once. Tonight we're talking about 2024's French horror film, MadS, directed by David Moreau. Now, David Moreau previously directed 2008's The Eye, starring Jessica Alba. A film that not many people I know seem to love. At least not around here anyway. It was during an era where Hollywood seemed like they were obsessed with this idea and the success that The Grudge and The Ring gave them, that they needed to remake every Asian horror film. And that eventually led us to some things that were not so good. But maybe we'll talk about that some other time. MadS is a French horror thriller about Romain, a young man who is super into the drug scene. And when we meet him, it's his birthday, and he's trying a new red powder at his dealer's house. Why do we always have to seek that better high? Why not stick to green herbs? And at worst, you'll melt into your couch. Soon after leaving his dealer's place, he encounters an injured woman who's carrying some sort of infection. As the night spirals out of control, Romain and the people around him begin experiencing violent, uncontrollable symptoms, while shadowy paramilitary forces try to quarantine the apparent outbreak. Oh, those shadowy forces. Imagine that. Mass government agents shooting citizens first and asking questions later, all because of how they look. One moment we're packed in a house with music, lights, and drugs causing sensory overload, and the next we're watching the outbreak quietly spill into the streets of the neighborhood and town while the cleanup crew is trying to contain it all. This is a non-stop crash out of paranoia, with the backdrop of a spreading infection that is slowly and chillingly taking hold. Throughout the film, more characters become the focus, and they always seem to inherit the same spiral of panic and violence that then goes to very maniacal, animalistic mannerisms. I'm not saying it was zombies, but it was zombies. With a sprinkle of the Joker. And if that sounds like a fun happening time, well, you're not wrong. And maybe you're thinking, oh, okay, this is like 28 Days Later or Wreck. You're also kind of right. It's violent, the tempo is fast, but the way that these particular zombies are presented is much fresher, and I'd even say is much more unsettling than normal. Once your heart starts beating with this film, it kind of doesn't let up because you just keep going. And that's the wildest part about this film. The cast and crew shot this in one continuous take. No pauses, no cuts, just step after 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 step, 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 step. Sorry about that. We fired the editor. This not only blows my mind from a creator standpoint, it really manages to add to the uneasiness that you feel throughout the film and the journey that you're on. They shot this movie in 5 takes. Each take was the whole damn movie, and they ended up releasing the 5th and final take. So in 10 days of principal photography, the group put together an outstanding film that really showcases what a great crew can accomplish. The director, David Moreau, stated that he was inspired by the 2015 film Victoria, which was also shot in one continuous take, because he felt that this technique adds to the realism that makes it almost seem like a documentary. That documentary-esque nature of filming really creates a different experience. Many of these types of movies are found footage films that give you a sense of dread because you're finding out what happened to somebody. It feels like it's live almost, and it feels like you're just a little birdie on his shoulder. And you can't top that type of immersion. This is 90 minutes from start to finish, where you start by taking drugs, and then you find out whether you survive or not. I love it. MadS isn't necessarily the most intricate and detailed story, and that's okay. Keeping it simple, stupid made for an awesome story where the characters feel realer than normal. And besides, if you're going to shoot it in one take, you really have to keep everybody else at ease for what their role is. I imagine they're at minute 75 and then somebody messes up or sneezes or something, then you have to start, okay, that's a take and we got to do it all over again. I mean, could you do it? So, why didn't you watch this yet? Well, probably because you don't know French. Neither do I, but get with the program. Sometimes you have to invite yourself to a night of subtitle heaven, like my K-drama folks or my anime lovers. Don't wait for the American remake. Hollywood rarely manages to keep the same feel of the originals, and this is one journey that you just don't want to miss out on any longer. If you're ready for a night of blood, guts, and drugs, then hop on Shudder, load that mug up, and take a rip. I assure you, you'll be fine. Thanks for watching. If you love horror and you enjoyed this content, please make sure you like and subscribe. I've got plenty more on the way, and your support for this channel means the world to us. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you down the road.